Hi,
Hi,
how are you?
I'm good. How are you?
I'm good.
Good.
So we're doing a different format. We're having a conversation.
Yeah, I think
Ah,
it's better.
I think so too.
Yeah,
We'll see. We'll see.
we
We'll see how we
we really
feel.
like talking to each other,
We
and we
do.
have a lot to say. So I just think it's like more. It's just better.
Yeah.
Mhm.
Okay. Okay, cool.
Yeah.
What are we talking about today?
So we had this question in our membership
Yes.
about intimacy. So because this month in our membership, it's all about relationships, specifically like significant others, romantic
Romantic
relationships.
Yeah.
Um, and so the question came up and we like thought it was really juicy. So we
Yeah.
wanted to share on here.
Yes.
And it was around how do you navigate or overcome struggles in intimacy, especially in motherhood when you're already feeling quite touched out.
Mm,
And like before having kids, like I wouldn't have known what like touched out really meant.
right.
And so I was like, oh yes,
Yeah.
this resonates for sure. But like we said in the membership, like it's not necessarily just only if you're a mom. Like I think a lot of people struggle with intimacy, like even if there is like stress happening or like
Big
jobs,
life changes.
big life
Yeah.
changes,
Yeah.
like anything like that. So we were like, this is a
A good
juicy one to
topic.
cover. Yeah.
I
Yeah.
agree.
Yeah.
I agree. And I think like for me, like when I think about the times in my life where I was not maybe like wanting intimacy or
Yeah.
wanting affection
Yeah.
was when I was personally not truly connected to myself. I was not feeling like myself.
Same.
I was not taking time for myself.
Yeah.
And I was just like, everything felt like a chore. Everything felt like heavy.
Yeah.
And I was just not in the headspace
No.
for it.
Yeah. It is something like I think back like because I've been with my husband for so long and
Yeah.
like, we were like,
Young.
two teenagers
Yeah.
that no responsibilities, like, and that's was a huge part of our relationship,
Yeah.
like
Yeah.
especially as you're young. And like I do think that as you get older, it does need to be a priority. Like it does.
Yeah.
So I think that goes without saying, but how do you make it a priority when you're feeling so overwhelmed? And so I've had two different cases of that. Like I've had what you've said, where it's like, I feel like I'm really just kind of, I don't feel good in my body.
Right.
Like I'm not taking care of myself. Like I don't like the way I'm looking, the whole thing. Like,
Yeah.
you know what I mean?
Yeah.
And so it's really hard to kind of like be vulnerable in that way.
Yeah.
But then I've also had the when I had my youngest and she was like that toddler stage, like baby toddler stage.
Yeah.
And I had my oldest who would have been like 5 at the time. And then my husband went away to school for a bit. So he was gone Monday through Friday. And so it was all me. I was working, I had the kids, and then he would come home. He would usually take a shift from work.
Oh my God.
And this went on for like 6-7 months. And like the idea, like it was such a struggle because I was like, talk about touched out. Like
Yeah.
I was always with the kids. I was at capacity at all times.
And no time for yourself.
No, zero time
Yeah.
at all. And so for me, like when it came to that piece, and I had said this to him, it's like, it feels like something else I'm giving to somebody else right now.
Yeah.
And I need to start getting like that reciprocal feeling of where like someone's giving back to me. And it wasn't his fault. It was the situation that I knowingly signed up for. Like that was what he had to do. We knew it was for that period of time. We knew it was going to be a struggle. But yeah, like touched out at capacity, it definitely took a toll for sure. Like we had to like climb out of it.
Oh my God.
You know what I mean? Like we had to be like, okay, that's over now. Like when he came home and everything, it was like we really had to be like, there was like a little recovery. Yeah, there was a little recovery phase where it was like, I remember like waking up and feeling it in my body, being like, oh, he's home. I don't need to like rush. Like I have help. Like I don't and I felt like almost like I felt like I could sleep for days.
Right.
And then like, so we had this little reset period, and then it was like, okay, like that's over now. Now we can start to build again. And so yeah, it takes time. And I do think it also takes two people like really wanting the same thing out of it, like having that same goal.
Yeah, I agree. And I think the important thing to remember here is that you can get out of it, because you did.
Yes.
We did too.
Yeah.
And I remember one time, like I said to Jam, I was like, it was, you know, right in the midst of like newborn, and it was just a lot. And obviously, like in that period, like the mom is like
the default parent.
Yeah,
let's just be honest.
Yeah. And I remember I was like, you know, I will take care of her, but I need you to take care of me if you want anything from me. Because
100%.
right now, I'm living in like this fantasy land. Like, I don't even know what planet I'm on.
Yeah.
And it's like, I'm so tapped out, and I
overwhelmed
and I resent you for not being the default parent.
Yeah.
And that does not make me want you. Like,
that's right. The resentment. 100%. And that's so hard, like when you are a new mom, like that, because you can't anticipate that resentment, because you just don't even know the level of responsibility that is going to be placed on your shoulders. You have no idea. And the exhaustion. And that's hard to navigate for sure. But to your point, like I have 2 kids now with my husband, and like I think we have a like great intimate life. You know, and like I always say to him, like you better be happy. Like I don't know who else, like anyways. So I feel like you will get out of it. But to my point, like you do both need to be on the same page about it. Like what does that look like for you, and what does that look like for him, for you to both be happy in that way? Because I see that with couples, like if you have a different version of like what is healthy, what is good, what is acceptable, and he has a totally different version, like that's also going to create resentment. Like, you know what I mean? Like if you feel like you're giving everything and he's still like more, like you need to get on the same page. Right? Like, and he needs to either understand where you're coming from, or you need to understand where he's coming from, meet in the middle some way. But yeah, it's like just really like blunt conversations, I think, are so needed. And
I agree.
I think that really depends on your relationship though. Like if that will be received, if you're willing to have those, like it's kind of you need to understand your relationship, and it needs to be like a strong one, I think, to have those conversations.
I agree, because it's tough times. And like I think it's also like, yes, it can be related to you maybe not feeling like yourself. Maybe it is a realization that you need to come up to and be like, okay, maybe I do need to take more time for myself. Maybe I need to get out of the house more. Maybe I need to ask for more help. Maybe that's it. And like you said, to your point, maybe it's just you're doing too much right now, and maybe you need to ask your partner, like, hey, like you need to step in more. You need to do, because sometimes like a thing that happened with us too is that it's not that he wasn't doing anything, it's that he was doing things that I wasn't necessarily seeing, or wasn't necessarily needing.
You were valuing it. Yeah,
exactly. So I really had to be like, okay, I know he's doing all these things, but right now in this period of my life, this is not what I need. If he would be doing more of X, I feel like I would be more at ease. I wouldn't be so overwhelmed. And it was just a matter of having a conversation and be like, I know this is what you're used to. I know this is like feels natural for you to like, I don't know, clean the kitchen. But right now, I need you to like F the kitchen. Like bring me a meal, because I'm like breastfeeding and I don't have time to think about it. And like it overwhelms me. Like just bring me food. Like, and so it's really like having the hard conversations. And it's not easy, because you know it's not necessarily going to be a fun one. Right? Like if you're at that point in your relationship where you're like, shit, like there's no intimacy anymore. Like it's really, I feel cold and
Yeah.
I don't want to give affection, it's
Mhm.
like, you need to have that conversation. But I think if you value the relationship and you truly want to see it through, it needs to happen, and sooner than later.
I would agree with that, sooner rather than later. And I'll like, this is like maybe controversial, like I don't know, but like for me, the times that like we would be in like any kind of rut like that, like it really was about me, even though I was like not feeling it, maybe, right? Like if I was like, I'm going to be intimate with my partner.
Yeah.
And maybe because what I was doing is I was making like too much of it, I think, in my mind. Like I was really blowing it up. And it was like, I'm like, okay, well, like really, like I need to like take all of that away. And the reality is it's like anything else, like building any kind of relationship. So if you want this aspect of your relationship to be stronger and to be better, you kind of need to like, it needs to be something that is happening kind of habitually. Like, you know what I mean? Like it's not something that you're like, well, I'm going to be intimate with my partner here, and then in a month from now,
no, exactly.
Like that doesn't create intimacy. Like that does not. Like it's the consistency. You know what I mean? And like that also, like the affection piece too. It's like you can't just be like, oh, like I give my partner a hug this week and like gave him a kiss on the cheek and then think like that's going to solve the world's problems. Like when it comes to your intimate relationship, like there's a consistency that has to happen with that, and like it needs to become the norm for your relationship. Yeah. You just have to really sit back and think like, what kind of relationship do I want to be in? Like, do I want to be in a relationship where like, yes, there's a lot of physical affection and like we have this we're very like vulnerable with each other and we have a great intimate life, but like if you're not like having those conversations or even making that connection in your mind that that's what you want, like I feel like it's really easy just to turn off. You know what I mean? To be like, well, you're not thinking about it. You're already tapped out. You're exhausted. Like it's the last thing. It's something that you have to, just like anything else, like it's something you have to connect to and like want.
I agree. And also like, it's like, it's easy to like get out of like an habit. So like to your point, like if you say you were like hugging your partner every day before leaving for work, and now one morning you were too busy, you had babies and whatever, and life happened, you didn't do it the second morning, and then it became a habit for you not to do it anymore. Of course it's going to feel weird if you start doing it again.
That's right.
But it's like awkward. It's like awkward.
Yeah, it is. Yeah. 100%.
And I think it's important for people to realize that like it's not because it's awkward that it means that love is not there anymore.
Oh my God,
that a relationship is not, like, you can build that again and you can create that comfort and that ease again around it. And also like something I think of is, I feel like when one area of your life is not going maybe like as great as you want it to go. For example, if you're struggling, and I'm saying this and you'll see why, if you're struggling financially, this is a big burden to live with. And if you think it's
a major stress,
and if you think it's not going to affect your relationship, your personal life, how you show up at work, you're wrong. Like one area of your life suffering is going to impact the other ones. I strongly believe that.
Oh yeah.
And so sometimes like maybe your relationship is suffering, but is it really the relationship? Like how is everything else in your life? Like maybe it is the relationship affecting the other stuff, but maybe it is because you're so resentful about your job, and maybe you hate your job so much that when you show up at your house, you're frustrated, you're resentful, you've been hating, and it's like a symptom. And it's exactly
the lack of intimacy can be like a symptom of like the root cause.
Exactly. So I think it's really like a reflection of like, okay, this is happening, where is it coming from? And if you can't pinpoint anything else in your life, and maybe it's just you, that you need to do some reflection and you need to take more time for yourself and really truly ask yourself, am I tapped out from that person right now, or am I just tapped out from like life,
all the other things?
All the other things.
Yeah.
and like what to do about it.
And if it is truly like your partner that is causing you to feel resentment, right? Like motherhood, like we mentioned, can bring that out, the resentment piece. If you don't tackle that and have those really blunt conversations, like, I don't know about you, but like, if I am like in my head feeling resentment and like bad mouthing my partner in my head, I don't want to have sex with that person. You know what I mean? Like, I don't want to do that. That's right. Like, I don't want to do that. Like, you know what I mean? Like, I have this, like, you're on my shit list now. And like,
you don't deserve
this
right now.
Like, as if I'm going to be like vulnerable with you and like affectionate with you. Like, if I'm feeling that way. And so like, for me, like, I think it's important just to like, I have said those words to my husband. Like, this is how I'm feeling. Like, do you think that I want to have sex right now? Like, right. And like, but for him, it's important that I voice that so that he's just like, because that's not how he wants me to feel. Like, do you know what I mean? Like, and so he knows what he needs to do. And like, I know that it's like, okay, like we have this conversation. And then I can move on and it lets me let go of some of it. Right. Like for sure. Like now it's like, okay, I voiced what I wanted to say. He heard me. I can start to like loosen up and start to like get that off of my shoulders a little bit. Like that resentment that you get in the early phases, especially of motherhood.
And I think that's something else to remember too. Like and I think this is just like human nature. Like the way men think of like sex or like intimacy is like quite different from the way we see it as women. Like for them, it's like a need. It's natural. It's human. It needs to happen for
like
us.
An act.
It's an act. And for us, most of the time, it's like the emotional piece. Like, do I feel emotionally safe, stable? Like, am I happy? Like, are we connecting right now? Do I feel seen, heard? And so for a while, like Jam and I, like we needed to have weekly touch points. And I often go back to that, and we still have them, not as often as before, because
you're in your flow now.
We're in our flow. But for a while with Amelia, the first like year at least, like every Wednesday evening we would have, it was on our calendars on our phone, we had 30 minutes. It was a touch point, weekly touch point, and we would sit on the couch and say everything that was
needed to be said.
Needed to be said. Some stuff it was positive, other it was negative, and it was like, okay, now that it's been said, how do we move on from this? Like, what do we do moving forward from today until next week, until we have our next touch point? Like, and so I think what was helping is that we were both like on board with doing this. Like we were both like, you know what, this relationship is important.
Exactly.
And so if this is what we need to do, like, let's do it and let's make sure that we're moving forward. And so there's also a possibility that a partner does not want to work on the relationship. And if that's the case, then
that's a different conversation.
Throw in the towel.
Because that's a different conversation. But like I've said to my husband, like, if this is what you want from me, if this is how you want me to feel, if this is what you want like for us to be doing, like all the things, like this is what I need from you. And I think too, like, those conversations matter. I think there's a lot of couples who don't even have like any conversations. I actually think that's like, I would say, I don't want to say it's normal, but I do think that like there's a large population of people who are together who are like, even those 30 minutes, like you said that was weekly. Like I think there's some couples who wouldn't have that in a year. Do you know what I mean? Like real,
I know what you mean,
conversation where it's not like passive aggressive and it's not like out of anger. It's like we're actually talking and like we're hearing each other. I think there's a lot of couples that don't have that at all. So, if that's the case, like, I do think maybe reflect on that as well. And then like, but it's not to say that like somebody needs to take the lead in some of those things too, right? Like, for me and my husband, like that's not abnormal at all. Like for us to have like those kinds of conversations, like all the time, but like that's who we are now. Who initiated that? Probably me, but let's be real. But like somebody needs to be able to take the lead in that. So if you're waiting for your partner to sit down with you and to like have these start, like, no, you need to make the time and you need to do it. And like maybe it will be weird that first time having those conversations, but like you got to keep going. Like, and to your point, like hopefully they'll be receptive. And if they're not, then like, why are you want to have sex with this person anyways? Then if you can't even have a conversation about this stuff and be very real and transparent about how you're feeling without it turning into a full-blown argument,
exactly,
then like, yeah, I wouldn't want to have sex with that person either.
Yeah.
You know what I mean?
Yeah.
Like, and that's really valid and fair.
I agree. And to your point, like, I think it's really like put your ego aside and like be the change that you want to see in the
100%.
world. Like, if your relationship is not going the way you want, like, stop waiting. Like, men don't know what they don't know.
Yeah.
Like, we need to stop, like, assuming that he must know this by now. No,
I know.
he doesn't. Like, like he's thinking about his next car purchase. Like, he's not on the same planet.
Yeah.
So like, just go. Like, you know, sometimes it's just like initiate the conversation, and then he's gonna be like, "Holy shit, I didn't know you felt this way."
So this is my hot take, and this is like, this again might be controversial, but I'm curious to hear what your opinion on it, because I've been thinking about it lately, because I've been talking to people, and there's some people that I know who are in couples therapy.
Yeah.
This is a bold statement.
Okay.
I do not believe in couples therapy.
Okay.
Okay. And I'm going to tell you why. And that's my very, like, you know, narrow perspective.
Yeah.
I'm going to tell you more about, like, from my perspective and really in my relationship specifically, obviously. But okay. I think that, to your point, be the change you want to see, lead by example, change the vibe, do the things, right? Have the real hard conversations. If you cannot have a real hard conversation with your significant other without there being a third party, already, I think, an issue, right? If you cannot be heard and that person can't validate how you're feeling without a third party being in the room, I struggle with that. I think a lot of men go to therapy. Again, controversial opinion. I think a lot of men go to therapy because they want someone in their corner to say, see, I'm not the problem. See where this is coming from? I think that's why a lot of men,
to get that validation.
I think a lot of men agree to go to therapy for that reason, for the validation piece.
Yeah.
So I also think if you want to kill intimacy in a relationship, you know, couples therapy, like an hour, and like, because what you're doing in therapy, like, you're harping a lot of times on the issues. And I feel like what happens when you get to that point where you're like, and this isn't for everybody, obviously, but like when you get to that point where something is not right in your relationship, you're going to couples therapy, then you're taking more time to talk about the problem.
You're manifesting more of it almost.
Are you going to go home and have sex after that? Because I don't think so. Right? You're manifesting more of it, like you said. And it's like, where's the vibe change? Where is it getting lighter? Where are you guys having fun? Because like, if you're going to couples therapy because, I don't know, maybe there is something that they're getting out of it, but you're equally going home and you're laughing and you're able to, like, I just don't think, I think for healthy couples, two things. I think healthy couples don't necessarily need a third party already. I think healthy couples, like how you said, you and JM sit down. You don't need a third party, right? And I also think like healthy couples, like, there is such a level of like, there's an element of like lightness and fun, and you know what I mean? And like, yes, there's hard things that happen. Of course, that's reality. Like, and you're going through and you're talking about bills and but like, there's also like that level of things are light and friendship and And so I'm just thinking, like, when you, like when you get to a point, a lot of couples, when you get to the point of being like, we need couples therapy, I just think that you might be sealing your coffin and putting the final nail in the coffin. That's how I see it. I know that's not going to be everyone's opinion, but I struggle with couples therapy in that idea, because I think what could save people is when you're the idea of like, we need couples therapy. I think the accountability should really rely on that person who thinks they need couples therapy. And you got to change it up. You need to be honest. You need to sit down, have the real conversations, and then you need to change up the vibe. And if those things are not happening, if your partner is not having the conversations with you, not being lighthearted with you, not receiving any of it, I think you already have your answer.
Yeah.
And I think like the therapist is going to just lead you down that direction anyways, after spending a lot of money.
Now that you're saying it, like I don't think I have many couples in my life that have gone through couples therapy that are still together.
Because it's a last ditch effort. Like
Yeah.
it's really like
Yeah.
that. And I think like maybe for some people it is closure, like, you know what I mean? Like it helps them like walk away from the relationship. And sometimes that's maybe just needed to like, okay, like to make sense of it and to walk away and feel at peace. And that's fine. But I think in terms of like saving the relationship,
Yeah.
I think that's a tough one.
Yeah.
I think really like, and my whole point in saying that is going back to like, you know, being that person to like take the lead, like have the strong conversations. Like if you want intimacy in your relationship, if that's something that you desire, like you can't wait for the person to read your mind and figure out how to do that for you. It's like start doing it. Like, you know, if you're finding like there's tension in your house and like, you know, it's just been a lot of the just like, yeah, resentment, passive aggressiveness, like put some fucking music on.
Yeah.
Like lighten up the mood.
Yeah.
Focus on you. Yeah. Focus on your energy. That's all you can do is focus on your energy. You know, have those conversations and like see what happens. Keep working at it. And like again, like hopefully they're receptive.
Yeah. No, that's very true. And I think something else too that I'll add is like, especially when you're going through like a big life transition, like say you're, I don't know, like you're having a baby, you become a mom, you become parents, like it's so easy to compare your relationship now to what it used to be.
Oh my God.
Like you said earlier, like you were teenagers.
Yeah.
No responsibilities.
Yeah.
And now all of a sudden you're adults. You own a house. You both work full time.
Yeah.
You have kids that you're trying to raise, like the whole thing. And it's like, it's so easy to like be like resentful and kind of like live in the past and think about how it used to be fun and how it used to be different.
Yeah.
And like basically get stuck on that. And it's like, the sooner that you realize that your life is never going to be exactly like it used to be 10 years ago,
right,
the sooner you're going to be able to like create that new life and that new relationship for yourself and move forward.
100%. Like I value, like the thing is like truly now because of all those layers that you had mentioned, like I value mine and my husband's relationship, like truly value it now more than ever. And like our intimacy and the affection we share, I'm like, that is so special that we can have all of this and still maintain that and still be so happy and still like it. So it's, you can get there. Like you know, if you both want that and you're on the same page, you absolutely can get there.
Yeah.
But like, it's going to be hard at different stages. Like that's just, it's ebbs and flows. And like, there will come a period where like, I think especially like as your kids get older, like it is easier. Like, my kids are 4 and 8 now. And it's like, it's way easier than it was, you know, even 3 years ago. Like, you know what I mean? Like we're in a flow now and like everything feels so much easier between us than it did even then. Like, so if you do have like small kids, like, you know, if you know that you and your partner are like really like friends first, you guys love each other, you respect each other, you know that like anytime that you get rid of those, like, you know, you go on a date night or like you're in the car together for like 20 minutes alone with no kids and you enjoy that time. Like I would just say like hang on to that.
Yes.
You know what I mean? Like that matters. Like, and like me and my husband always say that. It's like we can go to the grocery store and like have fun. And have fun. Like if we're kid free, like I make it sound like we don't have fun with my kids. Like obviously we do. No, but like between us, you know what I mean? Like, as a true couple, like we can go to the grocery store and we can like laugh our ass off. Like, you know what I mean? And have so much fun. And it's like, so hang on to that because that's what's going to pull you through all those like ruts and all those like, you know, when you have small kids. And then as they get older, it's like, they're more independent. You have a little bit more space to really be a couple like regularly, you know, and just connect. You're better rested. Like you're not as touched out, all those things, like just hang on to that.
Yeah. And I think like, if you can't maybe like afford to go on a week trip with your partner right now, maybe you don't have babysitters for an entire week. Maybe, I don't know. There's so many reasons, like, try and make date nights a true priority, because that's the moments where you get a glimpse of what your couple is outside of being parents. Like, why do you think people go down south for a week and they come back and they're like, oh my God, we needed this so badly. Like, we connected, we laughed. It was just like before. We had so much fun. Like, we had sex all week. Like, it was the best week ever. And then reality hits again, and it's like, where is this gone? Well, it's not truly gone. It's just that you don't have that time and that connection.
That's
again.
right.
Like, so you need to create it.
That's right.
Because it's rarely going to happen in the chaos of like doing laundry and dishes and kids screaming and like going to work and
like me and my husband just went to Miramichi. Miramichi.
Out of all places.
Where is that? Do you see that on any destination travel like to go to? Like, you know, any brochures? Like, I don't think so. However, like, we had the best time.
Exactly.
3 days away from our kids. Like, we were just like, and we kept saying that, like, we kept commenting on that. It's just like, oh my God, like, we have so much fun. Like, we're so lucky. Like,
oh my God,
you know, it was, it was so good. But like, we're in fucking Miramichi. You know what I mean? Like, you don't need to go to like Dominican or whatever. Like, you know what I mean? But like, it is about just creating those pockets of time and prioritizing it.
Create your own oasis.
Like, and be honest with your partner. Like, if you need for him to take, like, my husband knows, like, I'm not planning that stuff. Like, I'm not going to plan it, which is why we end up in places like Miramichi, you know? But that being said, he knows that, like, for anything like that we're getting out of town or whatever, like, if he wants me to be relaxed and he wants to have a good time, you need to plan it. Like, this is for you to do for me. Right. And so, like, I'll get the kids ready and I'm going to get them ready for their grandparents and do all those things. But like, you need to do this for me. Book it. Tell me when it's booked, whatever. Like, I don't have any, that's on him to do. And if he doesn't do it, then we don't go. And he feels that. Like, you know, like, he gets the message, like, well, we're exactly. And he's not that. So we make sure that it's a regular thing that we invest time.
Because, like, let's be honest, the mental list that we have as women, as moms, like, my brain never stops. Like, it's
all the tabs are open.
All the tabs are open. I'm already thinking about, okay, Amelia's going to daycare on Monday. It's going to be hotter than it was in the last week.
It's
she should probably have different boots, but I'm going to bring her an extra jacket just in case. And probably a different hat too. And like,
imagine JM thinking that way.
Never. That would never happen.
No.
I will tell a quick story about that to give you an idea. So that's my brain constantly thinking about all the things for me, for Amelia. Like, do we have enough paper towel at the house? Are we gonna run out of toilet paper soon? Like, all the things. And him, I was gone for, I can't remember where, anyways, for an entire day, and he sends me a picture of him and Amelia at a coffee shop. And she was like, maybe, I'm trying to remember, I want to say 4 to 6 months old, like baby. And so she was in the car seat, and like, he had dressed her up, like, so cute, whatever. And then we got back home later, we met, and I was like, oh my God, that was so cute. Like, you brought her to like the coffee shop. Like, how was it? Like, like, did she pee? Did she poo? Like, like, did you bring milk? Like, was she crying? And he was like, oh no, I just put her in the car seat and I left. And I'm like, what do you mean?
Where's her baby bag?
Like, where's her baby bag? It's like, oh, I left it at home. I'm like, what do you mean? He goes, well, if she starts crying, like, let's go in the car and let's go back home. He's like, see? But like, and I was like, he's not wrong.
He's not wrong. And he enjoyed himself a lot more, I'm sure.
So anyways, just to give a perspective of like all the stuff that we think of.
Oh my God, it's unbelievable.
And the stuff that they think about. And so, to your point,
like, are they laying in bed at night being like, oh my God, is my kid getting enough protein? Like, as if.
No.
Do you know what I'm saying?
No.
I was thinking about that last night. Is my oldest getting enough protein? How can I increase her protein?
He would never think about that. This is
2 o'clock in the morning thoughts. Like,
no. See? So yes, to your point, to say, Steve, you need to be in charge of this if you want something else to happen.
That's right.
So that your brain can be on pause for a minute, like, and keep thinking about all the other million things.
Yeah.
Like, yes.
Oh yeah. And my husband, he's very familiar with that language of like my mental load. I say that to him. I'm like, take something off my mental load. You can do this. You don't even like, there's certain things I'm like, don't even talk to me about. Like, don't even talk. Like he's redoing our backyard right now. And he wants to put in a pool, Okay. Don't even, until it's done, until you say, Paula, go check out our pool. I literally don't want to hear about it.
Love it.
And not because I'm like resentful about it or angry about it. I cannot add it. I can't have another open tab of like what needs to be done in the backyard. Absolutely not. That's
Love
on him, right?
Love
like there's certain things that it's just like you own that piece.
But then again, a conversation had to happen in order for him to know that, and for you to like be happy with how it's going.
Yeah, exactly. Transparency, very important. Be bold. Say what you need to say. Like your partner wants you to be happy.
Yeah.
They want you to not feel like everything is too much, that you're overwhelmed. They want to have sex with you. So like, just be honest and like, you know, connect those dots for them.
Yeah.
You want this. I want that as well.
This is what needs to happen.
This is what needs to happen if you want it to go this way.
Yeah.
Just be very honest about that. If you haven't been before, like now is the time.
What a great conversation.
Love it.
We have so much to say.
All the time.
Oh my God.
Yeah. So fun.
Well, that was great. So I feel like we're going to keep talking about relationships a lot in the next few weeks, because that's a topic that
that's what our membership is getting. All of our members are getting a lot about relationships. So this is going to be a really fun month.
Yeah. And if our listeners missed the memo from last week, we launched 3 courses.
3 courses. It's starting off, and like really good ones to start off on.
I agree.
Self-awareness and mindfulness, confidence and boundaries.
Yeah.
We'll be releasing some other ones probably next month or so. I will TBD, but but like those 3 I think are just like really like foundational, like in personal development. So like I was saying, like if you're new to the space or you're just looking to like kind of deepen your work a little bit more, it's a great way to start. But also if you're like, my girlfriends would love to hear this, like oh my God, what a great gift.
I agree.
What a great gift to give somebody. Like here, like I know we were talking about this last week, like here, this is, you know, maybe like it's your birthday or whatever. Here's some courses like that I know you'd be interested in. Super fun to listen to relate to, lots of things to reflect on, journal on, all that stuff. Like it's good. Yeah.
Love it.
Love it.
So many things.
Yep.
Okay. Well, thank you so much for a great conversation.
Yeah. As always.
And goodbye to our listeners, and we'll talk soon.
Okay. Bye.